Hey guys, I'm so happy that you are here on another episode of The Mind of Reese. Wow, what is going on in my world? There are so many ways to plug in and play. So I'm not going to go exactly over every little thing that is happening in my world, but I will just name them off, and if something just hits right, if it sounds like you, if you're like, ooh, I'm interested, you can go in the show notes, click on the link to any of those and get a little bit more information on it, how you can sign up, how you can get on the wait list, whatever it might be. So currently I have one opening for my VIP one-on-one hands-on container. This is a 3-month container where we go over everything life and business. I'm very much from building a business from the inside out, and how we do that is that life directly corresponds to what is happening in our business. So if there's something going on in life, whether that be internally, how we heal that, and then make that reflect the successes in our business, is definitely a huge thing for me, as well as going anything over strategies and structures into your business, tattoo techniques over, we do this all over Zoom. And so I create a way where we can go over certain things and aspects when it comes to your tattooing. I've done this with my other VIP clients. It's been a lot of fun. And so, anything and everything having to do with your tattoo business, we will go over. Number 2, I am going to be opening up my mastermind. So if you're looking for a more community-based container, this is a 6-month container where I will have 6 to 8 intentional artists. These 2 containers, my VIP and my mastermind, are both containers for the artists that are in the 5-figure, in their 6-figure range, where they're already making this. They already have structure within their business. They're just looking to understand how to grow it, how to next level, upgrade, create the quantum leaps, become educators, mentors, open up shops, or how to structurally set up their shop so it works better for them. All of the things, these 2 containers are for the artists that have already established a business and are looking to go to 6 figures and beyond. Okay, so this is my mastermind. You can get on the wait list for that. It is opening up really soon. This is going to be a small container with a community of like-minded artists, which I really love, because oftentimes as artists, we feel really alone in business. And so this is a place where we can all connect and really come together and hold space for each other, create accountability, celebrate each other, help each other in the way that we do business. Each of us do things uniquely, and sometimes it's just really nice to get perspectives and many different perspectives. So if you're looking for a more communal-based container, this is the one for you. Or if you are an artist that is just starting out, you are an apprentice, or you're a tattooer of many years but still looking to really understand how to create the foundational structure of a business that creates sustainable growth in the social media platforms, Inspired Academy is for you. You can get on the waitlist that will open back up next year in 2023. This is definitely a foundational course for the artist that is looking to grow their tattoo business into something bigger and looking to create a foundation that sustains that growth so that they don't feel burnt out, overwhelmed, all this kind of stuff. Because when we can create that structure around our business and really, really take out the overwhelm, the stress, and all the things, then we can create from our highest creative selves, which allows us to call in more like-minded people, more like-minded clients, more like-minded community. And that's what we want, because those are the people who are going to pay us what we are worth. And this allows us the opportunity to raise the prices and make the level of income that we really want to make in our business. Okay, so there's Inspired Academy. I have 2 smaller courses. So if you are looking for something that's not going to be months long, I have really easy day little programs, cheeky little day programs that I like to call them. It's my Reels course. I just redid it. Holy crap, I'm so proud of this particular mini course for tattooers, how to create Reels to attract clients to you. And so this one is it's one of my favorites. I know that everybody's always on top of the Reels games, but I've updated it to make it look more to the times, and it's definitely adheres more to what's going on in the Reels community now. I also have Content Magnetism, which is my masterclass on how to attract and be magnetic, how to create that content that is magnetic, how to get into the energetics of magnetism so that you can create every piece of content that you create is created from this space, is created with magnetism in mind to call in the type of clients that you want into your space. And lastly, oh my gosh, I have just opened up 2 new containers for I have a plane rolling by. So I have just opened up 2 new containers for the artist looking to dive deeper into their tattoo techniques and processes. So I am so happy to announce that I'm going to be taking on 2 to 3 apprentices in 2023. This is a 6 to 8 month vocational container. What this means is that you will need to, this is an in-person container where you will be with me and there will be some at-home learning for 6 to 8 months where we will go over everything to becoming a tattoo artist, a successful one. I'm not just going to teach you how to tattoo. No. I wouldn't be Reese if I did that. I am going to be teaching you how to, not only how to tattoo, how to create art, how to structure your business, how to become a magnet, calling in your soulmate clients, ritualizing your tattoos, ritualizing your space, becoming the intentional artist that you want to be, all, and so much more. This is a very, very, very hands-on. Literally, I will be touching you because we will be in person. So this is for the aspiring artist. If you are looking to create a 6-figure business, I will teach you everything that I've ever done in order to get there in as little as 6 to 8 months. There will also obviously be containers after for further education if that is something that you're interested in. But I wanted to kind of jam pack this situation to where it will be a nice, tight little nugget of time to where you don't have to go to art school. You don't have to go to all these steps. I do recommend that if you have to be an artist already, but we will have you can sign up for the wait list and we'll send you how you can submit applications to get into it. Okay. So that's the second part. And for the first part of the tattoo technique containers, second tattoo technique container will be for the artists that are already here who are looking for a seminar day. So basically what this means is that I will be spending 6 to 8 hours with you one day in person, going over whatever it is that you want to learn, whether it be color theory, color technique, color packing, portraiture, florals, animal portraits, black and gray through opaques, anything else that you want to talk about. And I'm calling it my tattoo technique VIP day for the artist who wants to just have a one-on-one experience with me, seminar style, where we will literally be looking over each other's shoulders on our tattoo processes. Now, during this time, it's not just limited to just tattooing. We can talk about everything, all of the things having to do with business, all of the things having to do with social media. You have me for 6 to 8 hours. You can do whatever, you can ask me whatever it is you want to ask me for that time, and I will be there with you every step of the fucking way. Okay? So those are the things that are happening. Holy moly, there are so many things to plug in and play. I hope that you will. But in this podcast episode, now let's talk about it. We are going to be talking about comparison and how it literally is the thief of all joy when you compare your art to others, and how this actually stunts your growth. I tell you how it stunts your growth, but then I also teach you how comparison can really help you gain a level of awareness of where it is you need to heal within yourself and how you can release it and become a more courageous and confident artist that you already are within you. You just need to allow it to let it out. You just got to let it out. Well, I hope you loved today's episode. Let me know if you do. Tell me on the grams. I love hearing from you, and I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hope you have an amazing day. Hello, my loves. I am so happy that you are here on another episode of The Mind of Reese. Holy moly. So let's just dive right in. Why not? Oh, Lordy. So I have been getting a lot of questions on comparison and confidence and these kinds of things. And although I do have episodes that touch on both, I figured I would combine a little bit of the two subjects here right now, just because of the fact that, as we evolve and change as artists, healers, and guides, our perspective may have changed, and the new learnings and education that we've received has changed. So what I do want to say is that, when we go into our work as artists, everything is so fucking subjective. It's so subjective, and what I really, really want to encourage all of you when it comes to going on social media, comparing your art to other people's work, and then creating meaning around what that means. Oh, my art's not good enough because theirs is better. Oh, and it it's such a downer, and what I really love, and this is a book from Elizabeth Gilbert called Big Magic. It's called Creative Living Beyond Fear. Creative Living Beyond Fear, which I really, really love. The book's really cool and it's an easy read, and it's definitely for the artist creative that is really just looking to feel the fear, do it anyway, and go for it. And one thing that she touches on that really, really resonates with me is that there's like this paradox thinking. There's this paradox thinking that you have to believe that your artwork is so big, so amazing, and it's super meaningful and powerful and so serious. And yet it means nothing. Like, your art can mean so much and it also just means nothing, And what I love about this idea is that we lose the weight of our creativity having to be some profound, crazy thing. And we also lose the weight on our shoulders of it having to be for our audience. Our creativity is a gift from the universe, from God, source, whatever you want to say, to the creator, not to the audience. And so when we are, artists, especially if we're living off of our art, we make it mean so much when it really doesn't mean anything. And yet it means everything. So and I hope you're understanding where I'm coming from when I say this, is that I'm not trying to belittle your artwork or say that it doesn't mean anything, but I really want you to open your mind to the idea that your art is only meant for the creator. It's only meant for you. And the fact that we get to make money off of that art just means that anything that you create and people find it to be worth something and they pay you to do the thing, that is living a creative life. We're not creating for others. We're creating for ourselves, right? And then we get to share that and impact that because we love it so much. We love it so much that we're like, fuck it, I'm just going to put it out there and whatever happens, happens, and just losing and surrendering the outcome. And so we talk about this a lot in my podcast, is that that's what the whole point is. And so when we take moments out of our day to go online and compare our work, and it's not done constructively, like if I'm trying to strategize my tattoo processes or the way that I design something, or I'm trying to gain inspiration from someone that I look up to in the industry, that's very different than comparing my artwork, let's say a realistic portrait of Johnny Depp, to someone else's realistic portrait like Nico Hurtado's Johnny Depp. The way I look at it is that my style of art is very different from Nico's. Do I see that his technicalities are far beyond me? Totally. And I would love to learn from him. That does not bring me down. That actually lights me the fuck up. And it actually motivates me to want to learn more, to invest more of my time, money, energy into myself so that I can gain that kind of knowledge to understand the processes behind the way that he works so that I can implement them in my own unique way into my own. And that is the point. Comparison, at the end of the day, is the thief of all joy. When we compare ourselves, our artwork, our message, our movement, our content, our business to others, what we are doing is saying, I don't know myself well enough to know who I am, so I must compare myself to others to make meaning of what success is supposed to look like. No. Success is unique. Success is art. Business is art. Our tattoos are definitely art, but when you look at it from the broader perspective, from the macro perspective, really remove yourself from looking at things so closely and act like that your whole observer, the observer within you, the inner wisdom within you is literally in outer space looking at you from a perspective of infinite of like infinite perspective, infinite levels. And so when we look at life like this, we realize that everything we do is art. Everything we do is art. From the moment we wake up to the day that we create for ourselves, to how we want that to look like, to how we want to think, to how we want to act, to how we want to do whatever it is in that day that we decide to do. That is artistic. That is unique to you. Whatever that might look like. This is a big, big, big reason why the way that I coach my mentees, whether it be my coaching clients, apprentices, artists, whatever it is, I coach based off, here's what I did. Take whatever it is that I did, utilize the pieces that resonate with you, and create your own unique strategy. That is the point. It's not, oh no, you must wake up at 4:30 in the morning, go for a run, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, and make it such a rigid plan and strategy that worked for one person but doesn't resonate with another. That for me is not artistic. That for me just sounds very militant. And although that can help create discipline, I, however, believe that there is another way of creating that type of discipline. And instead of rigidity and force and suffering and all of these words that just have this like icky feeling to it, for me personally, I look at things as like devotion and passion and purpose. And it's like, yeah, of course, I might not want to wake up every day at 4:30, but however, I do love the juicy feeling that I receive after I do it. And so I remind myself of how I love that feeling, and I'm so passionate about that feeling, and how what does my day look like when I do that? And this is the devotion I have to myself, my body, my mind, and to my clients, to my art. That by waking up at 4:30 in the morning every day and going for a run or moving my body in some capacity is going to allow me to be my highest creative self, then fuck yeah, I'm going to discipline myself to do the thing. You know what I mean? And so what's funny about that is that it's all changing the wording, because words are very powerful. So it's changing the words and listening to your intuition. And it's like understanding that the moment we begin to start to compare ourselves, it's like, let me drop back into my body instead of allowing my ego to run away with all the things it could be saying, because I've been taught over many, many, many moons, and from all the people around me, from societal conditioning, from all of the things telling me that, oh, I need to think a certain way. I compare myself because, that's what I've been taught. And with that comparison, I create what I believe is what looks like success. And I find that very discomforting, and I find that very icky and gross, and it just makes me feel like, I don't want to do that. Like the way we got to, the way I think about it is this, like, when we have these moments of comparison, and we have them, I have them all the time. I'm like, God, comparing my year 10 to someone else's year 2, how fast people are going. And I'm like, God, it took me 10 years to do this, and it took them only 2 years to do that. And I can hear the narrative going on in my mind. I am human. I am totally human. I have those moments, but how do we create the staying power? It's like, how do we create the power of staying? How do we stay in the power of ourselves? How do we come back to ourselves? And that's the whole point. It's not about trying to stop comparing. It's kind of impossible, but it's to become aware of the comparing in that moment of comparison, and to drop back into the body and allow yourself to stay in your power. This is called emotional mastery. This is called the art of living consciously. This is called leadership. That's what that is. And the more often that you can catch yourself doing the thing, being more aware and being intentional, this is the art of living consciously. This is what that takes. And there's a lot of healing that needs to happen through that, because oftentimes we don't catch ourselves comparing. We actually go on and on and on, compare. And we'll be sitting there on our phone, looking at the same tattoo that someone else did, ruminating within our mind and allowing the ego to speak to us in our mind, just telling us how good we're not, or even looking at your own tattoos and just like literally digging yourself a hole of like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, I shouldn't post this, I can't do this, and it's like all this overthinking and all this comparing. It's comparing yourself. It's like even comparing yourself with yourself. It's like I'm comparing myself from yesterday and all this other stuff. And so I find this very disheartening. And so with that, I want you just to really come back to the grace of who you are. Remember that your artwork is just subjective, and you're growing and you're shifting and you're changing. And how can we be so in love with this moment? How can we be so in love with where we are in this moment? Also, give ourselves grace for whatever comes up, especially in our emotions, allowing the emotions to just be there, and then holding the desire for more. It's like, yes, I'm grateful for all the things that I have. I still embody the desire for more. Why? Because I am a human being that really loves growth and change and quantum leaping, and and I see money as a tool and a source for my prosperity, to allow more opportunities for myself, my family, my friends, my artists, the people I work with, all, and the more people to come in, so that I can continue to grow and help people see, become the inspiration that people are like, holy fuck, let me invest in this person. I want to be in this person's energy, and yada, 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 yada. That's what makes me stoke. That's the stoke I have. And when it's like always coming back to yourself, always coming back, always dropping back in, always reminding yourself, relaxing, doing the mindset work, the emotional mastery, staying in your power, being the leader of your own self, not allowing the comparison to deprive you of the celebration of where you are and who you are and all of these wonderful things and all this awesomeness that you already have. See, because we oftentimes we lose the energetics of power. The energetics of gratitude and prosperity and abundance when we start to compare ourselves, our journey, our life, our business, our tattoos, our artwork with others, with ourselves. Even comparing yourself with yourself 2-3 years ago. It's like, oh man, last tattoo opening of my books, I did this many emails and this and this and this. And then this time it wasn't like that. It was different. It didn't make as much. It's like, no, how can we not compare then to now? How can I not compare myself to that person over there, to what I'm doing, and really just letting go and creating based off who you are, based off because you got the gift of being a creator. You received the gift of wanting to be an artist of whatever capacity that might be. And whether it be drawing, tattooing, knitting, whatever it is, content creating, like whatever it might be, it's like, know that your artwork is so subjective, and that there are people out there that are not going to like your artwork, and there are people out there that are going to love it. And, let me just give you like a really quick example of this. It's like we have people out there like Nico Hurtado or like the greats, we have people that are just doing this incredible artwork, and you look at it and you're like, wow, it's so realistic. Like realism artwork shows how good an artist is. But that's not necessarily true, is it? Because we have artists out there that specialize in stick figure art, and they make just the same amount of money or more than those that do realistic art. And so it's like subjective. So does that mean that that person's worth more because they make more money? Or does that mean that the person over here that does realism is actually a better artist, but he's not making as money as this guy? So what does that mean? What does it mean? That guy makes more money. However, his artwork seems so easy and anybody could do it. And then this guy's artwork, like nobody can do it, but he's making less money than the stick figure guy over here. What does that mean? Who's worth what? Who's better? Who's more? Who's better? Who's the more? Who's better? And we constantly ask ourselves these questions about who's better, my worth is based off of money, and so it's like, this is where we catch ourselves really just being in the like, oh, fuck, like, look at, art is subjective. Yeah, the stick figure for me personally, as Reese, is not my jam. I have respect for anybody willing to put themselves out there and put their artwork out there. I've seen people specialize in kid drawings in crayon. And although the crayon drawing the child did is whatever, the fact that someone could replicate the crayon look on someone's skin is weird and crazy, but that's someone's specialty, and that just doesn't resonate with me, but I fucking respect it. I'm like, good on you for putting your artwork out there, for having the courage to put yourself out there, not making meaning to what your artwork is, and just doing what you fucking love. That's the point. Doing what you fucking love. Technicality, processes, all of these things, that comes with time, money, energy, investing in yourself. And if you're unwilling to do those things, well, that's another story for another day. The very beginning of it all comes with courage. And the more courage you have, and let's get into confidence, the more courage that you can cultivate, the more courage that you can create, the more experiences that you can take, more instances, more pathways that you can take that cause you to have courage to do it, because it's scary, because there's fear around it. And you decide, I'm going to lean into this fear and have the courage and put myself out there regardless of what people think, because what I think is awesome and I love doing this and I love sharing it. That's going to create the confidence, because over time, the more that you lean in to the fear, and the more you be courageous and brave, the more you will create confidence. And it's not and that confidence is within you already. It's just we lose it over time sometimes. It just happens that way. We're born with no judgment. We're born perfect. And then we learn a thing. We get stacks of little learnings and things and experiences and societal, whatever, all the conditioning that we have in this world that makes us forget. And we just have to remind ourselves of who the fuck we are. And who the fuck we are is perfect, exactly perfect where we are at, no matter what we've learned, whatever experiences we've had in our life, we're perfect. And we're also human. Perfectly imperfect. Paradox. This is paradoxical thinking. It's just, yes, my art means so much, but it also means nothing. It doesn't mean shit. I only create to create because I love creating. So if that creation, the end result of my creation is different from what it used to be, as long as I'm fucking stoked on life, then that's awesome. And then there will be people that will resonate with that. Just like the guy with the crayon stick figures. There are people out there that resonate with that. And he gets paid a lot of money to do it. Why? Because he was confident enough to put himself out there, even though I'm sure, people make fun all the time. I'm sure if you're a tattoo artist and you're listening to this and you hear this and you're like, yeah, every day people are like, I could barely draw a stick figure. Like, hey, bro, there's a guy out there making $30K a month drawing stick figures on people. You better get to it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all the way that we choose to think about it. We get to make the meaning or make no meaning. And personally for me, I just choose to not make meaning out of anything. Like, I don't need to make meaning. Oh, well, this happened. This must mean this and this and this. And if I'm going to make meaning out of it, it's going to be something so fucking rad. Like, oh, fuck. I broke my hand, but this was meant to be. The universe only looks out for my highest good. So if I can't tattoo for this month, that means that I'm getting to focus on something else. Now let's go. What's the unknown going to bring me? Like, whatever is going to, I get to choose. We all of us inside of us, we all have two different voices within us. We all have, our ego. We have things that tell us, okay, on one hand, I don't want to post this. I want to be really cautious about this because, it's not just like it's an okay piece of art. There's a lot of things that I would have changed, but it is my growth experience. I'm going to be cautious. Let me be cautious. This is my ego, like being cautious. And then here's this other side that's like, fuck it, full send, let's go. I'm fucking proud of this. I don't care if I didn't, it wasn't the best tattoo I've done so far, or it's not the best tattoo. I just fucking love it. And I think it's great. And I'm just going to full send it and do that. We get to choose where we put our energy. It's like, which piggy bank am I going to put the penny in? Am I going to be the cautious one over here? Sometimes it's going to help us. Sometimes that we need to be cautious. Or I'm going to be like the full sender over here. Sometimes, we shouldn't be full send. Maybe we need to think about it a little bit longer. Either way, there's no right or wrong about it, right? But we get to choose. Neither one of us is totally us. Neither one of those thoughts are totally us, but then they both are us. They are a part of us. So the cool part about that is that the observer within you, the inner wisdom, the intuition, gets to make the decision on where you want to put the penny in which piggy bank. And where do I want to put my energy? Where am I going to put my energy? Am I going to put my energy in here, the cautious side, or am I going to put my energy here in the full sender side? I'm oftentimes more of a full sender. I am cautious when it comes to like, okay, let me just make sure that I'm not just buying this just to buy the thing. Am I buying this for status reasons, or am I buying this because I really, really want this? I do have a level of awareness inside of me that causes me to create, there's like these 2 points, there's duality, where do I want to put my energy? And so that's the level of awareness that we want to cultivate at all times. That level of awareness will cause us to stop and stay in our power. So we want to continuously stay in our power. Stay home inside of us so that we can ask the questions. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I'm afraid, or am I holding back because, hey, maybe I have a better idea coming sooner, and I'm gonna weed it out. I'm gonna let it marinate. I'm gonna flirt with it a little bit longer. So that's the awareness. Where do I want to put my energy? Where am I going to put my energy? And so this is the reason why it's like we catch ourselves comparing and doing the thing. We talk about subjective art. Everything's subjective. People are going to like it whether or not. What people like about it is that you fucking own it. That's what people like about it. People are so afraid to own their imperfections and realize that they're actually all perfect. It's all perfect. It doesn't matter. Your quote unquote imperfections are actually perfections within you, because what happens, what you get to do with that perfection, that part of you that maybe, you know what, I really don't like the way I think or talk to myself today. How do I want to change the way I talk to myself? It's the same thing. Which voice am I going to put my energy in? You aren't really that good, Reese. You probably shouldn't put this on the universe. Hey, this, yeah, okay, it wasn't the best piece of art you've done, but you did a great job, and good on you. And fuck yeah, full send. Put yourself out there and let people know that, what's perfect in societal conditioning doesn't always mean that it is. You know what I mean? That like we can be imperfect and still be a badass artist and still be awesome, because I don't put my worth outside of me. Where am I going to put my energy? You get to decide that. That's the best part. That's the most empowering part, is that you get to decide, where am I going to put this energy? So, all in all, in this short and sweet little podcast, when it comes to comparing yourself to others, comparing your past self to your now self, it's like we want to just constantly be in the level of awareness that allows us to catch ourselves when it's happening, because it's always going to happen, and don't berate yourself. Don't shame yourself for it. We're here in the business of shame slaying, baby. We don't shame anything that goes on in our mind, any thoughts we have, even if they're evil. Trust me, I've had evil thoughts. I don't act on them, but sometimes I want to, you know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. It's all good. You get to choose who gets to drive the car today. What voice, and then even when you create the action, it still doesn't mean that it's you. It doesn't mean that it's you. It just means that there are wounds inside of you that you've acted upon, and it's like, especially when you create action around something where you're like, fuck, I really shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. And that kind of thing. It still doesn't mean that it's you. All we got to be is aware of the things, aware of the thoughts, and even aware of the actions. And when we have those actions that don't make us feel so good, we're like, oof, I shouldn't have done that or whatever. Then we just got to search for the wound. We just got to be courageous enough to search within us what it is that would cause us to do the thing, even against our better judgment, even when we didn't want to. And we were like, oh, I don't want to, I did it, fuck. We get those feelings, right? It's because there's a part of us inside of us that needs to be healed. There's an inner wound within us that feels like it hasn't been heard. And so it's like, no, fuck you. You're not going to do anything about this. I'm going to take the driver's seat because you don't listen to me. That's part of your inner psyche. That's your shadows. Those are your wounds inside of you. And we can get into that. We get into that a lot lately, but like these are the healing wounds. So we just need to constantly just be aware of all the things that are going on, not make meaning behind it, not make meaning behind anybody else's work compared to yours. Don't compare your life to someone else's life. It's totally unique. That's what makes you so cool. That's what makes it so awesome. So the person over there with the stick figure art, courageous enough to share it with the crayons and whatever, you know, it's like, here, let me just replicate kid drawings all day long compared to the guy over here that does hyper realism that looks exactly like a photo. You know, I'm not going to compare my art to either or. I might take a process of wanting to understand educationally process, but I'm not going to make myself wrong for feeling like my art isn't good enough. That's not about them. That's about me. If in my mind, my art is not good enough for no other reason than just because it's art and my style just so happens to be similar to that guy's style. And, oh God, but he does it so much better than me. Look, he's got more followers. That must mean he does it better than me. And maybe technically the processes, totally. Maybe he does. Maybe he has a better, different way of doing things. For sure. Am I willing to learn? Fuck yeah. Am I willing to invest in that? Fuck yeah. Let's go. However, if I'm comparing myself, I'm like, ooh, his artwork's better than mine because he has more followers than me. That must mean he's much better. Or, ooh, his artwork looks more realistic than mine. You know, that I shouldn't post this because I got to wait until I'm that good. Let me ask myself those questions on like, why do I even think that? Everybody's journey is their own journey. Why would I compare my journey against someone else's journey? Why would I compare my life against someone else's life? You know, I just believe that when we are having this comparison, when we find ourselves comparing ourselves with others, when we find ourselves getting hurt or getting in our feels about something that is outside of us, especially when it comes to comparing, when it comes to like, let's put us side by side and see who's the prettier one. Oh God, that breaks my heart. You know what I mean? Because beauty is subjective as well. It's like, you know how they always say there's someone out there for everyone. That's fucking true. That's fucking true. You might look at a girl and you're like, oh my God, how'd she get that guy? You know, like, ew. But you hear it. You might have even thought it, you know? And so it's one of those things where it's just like, there's someone for everyone. And just like, as far as like magnetism goes, there's someone for everyone. The crayon drawing guy, someone for everyone. You know, realism, not a lot of people like realism. They're like, I respect it, but it's not for me. I don't want it on my body forever. Valid. I respect you for respecting me, and I respect your decisions for what you want to do with your own fucking body. None of my business. Don't care. What do I love doing? I love creating realistic, abstract art. Okay, I'm going to continue to do that. And then I will continue to call in the people that want to get tattooed by me or want to get that kind of art by me or want to get coached by me. You know, like this is where we're at. This is where I'm at. This is how we stay playful. This is how we build, this is how we build empires, is by making everything mean something and by not making it mean anything at all. Like my artwork means the world to me and I love it so much. But in order for me to stay sane, I need to know that it doesn't mean shit either. Like we're all going to die and my tattoos are going to decompose and never be seen again. You know what I mean? So it's just like one of those things where I'm like, yes, I'm going to be so devoted into the craft and I'm going to commit myself to loving the art that I put out and produce every single day. And if I don't love it, I will shift and evolve and change to make sure that I continuously do, because the only time I feel good is when I feel good. Not because, oh, let me do art only because that kind of art is going to get me more likes, follows, going to make me money. People are going to like me more. I'm not going to do anything based off an external validation. Nothing. Not content, not tattoos, not nothing. I do everything. Everything I post is for me. It's art. I'm the creator. That magic is for me. I'm so fucking lucky to be able to cultivate the magic within me and share it in multiple different ways, such as coaching, such as content creating, with podcasting, with reels, with TikToks, with photos, and YouTubes and all this stuff. Like, I just resonate with all kinds of creations that I'm going to do it. I love to cook. I love to dance. I love to sing. I love to play my ukulele. These are all different types of creation that make me happy. That's all that matters at the end of the day. If it makes you happy. Now, if you get to make a living doing it, well, then fucking kudos. Let's celebrate that. If you've made $1, a quarter off something that you've created, celebrate that shit. Celebrate it. Be joyous. Because you have created something and made money. You've made a living. If you can pay your bills with an art form, whatever it might be, congratulations. And if you desire to get better, then invest in yourself, invest in your time, invest in your energy. But if you are going to go online and compare your artwork to someone else's, ask yourself why you're doing it. And if you're going to feel sorry for yourself, especially if it's a process thing, if it's a tattoo technique thing, or it's a technique thing, whatever industry you might be in, then that's on you. That's not on anybody else. You want to get better, quote unquote, better at your technicalities in your art form, and you decide that you don't want to invest in yourself to do that, that's on you. That's on nobody else but you, honey bunny. And you can get better on your own. You don't need to buy anything. But if you are going to make yourself wrong for where you are in that moment, and you're like, but I don't have the money to invest in myself, trust me, baby. People will do anything to invest in themselves if they know it's right for them. I'm telling you. It's pretty crazy to me what people will do. Like, I know what I've done. Taking loans out, credit cards, things like that, just so that I could just focus on my craft. And I chose the direction and the pathways that I chose because they felt right for me. Now, you choose what feels right for you. So if it's going to be a technicality comparison, do it based off constructive. Find the help that you need. And if you're not going to invest in yourself in that help, then just understand that patience is everything, and be intentional with the work that you produce, because you will get better over time in experience. If it is subjective, if it's artistic, if you're comparing your art to someone else's art based off whatever, find out if that is an inner feeling, because then that's emotion. This is where emotional mastery comes in, and you'll want to dive deep into where the wounds are within you. Why do you think that you're not enough? Why do you think that you shouldn't be posting this? Because you don't think you're worthy enough to whatever. Are you afraid of someone saying something? Are you afraid of what is it? Because all of these fears, when it comes to fear-based actions, all that's going to create is, and might even manifest, some of the things you're afraid is going to happen. And the reason why it happens that way is not because it's trying to, oh, well, you shouldn't have posted because you had fear-based energy on that. No, it's just because of the fact that a lot of the times the universe is like, you're ready to learn that you have nothing to be afraid of. And that someone calling your art out or saying that you're not good or whatever it is, it has nothing to do with you. And maybe if we can learn this at this moment, if we can learn that, then you can have the courage to continue on in your journey that is meant for you. That's a lot of the reasons why we think that bad things happen to us in the moment, but then in hindsight we look at it and we're like, wow, that was really a good learning experience, and I'm glad that happened, because then I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So we've got to look at it from both ways. Especially when we catch ourselves comparing, or we catch ourselves getting upset by something, or we're doing something of whatever nature. And trust me, this podcast is so healing for me, because I know that what I'm saying is something that I embody. And this is something that I practice in my own life. And I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't, because it does happen to me all the time. I'm continuously trying to be a revolutionary in this industry, in the tattoo industry. And all the things that I do gets a lot of backlash oftentimes, because I talk about spiritual woo-woo and how to do business. And people don't want me saying these things. They don't want me to talk about it. And they also don't want me to tell them that like energetics is going to make them successful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trust me, the fact that I can hear that voice in my mind obviously just tells you that I've heard it many times before. But those people aren't for me, and I'm okay with that. Everybody is so, I respect people so much so that they are so valid to have an opinion about any situation, because I respect the fact that I can too. You know? And so for me, at the end of the day, it's taken a lot of courage for me to do the things that I've never seen anybody else do before in this industry. Not one. I haven't seen anybody do the things that I've done so far in this industry. I have seen some people do some like-minded things, and I really enjoy it because it makes me happy because there's no competition for me. I believe there's enough room for everybody, and I'm just like, fuck yeah. And what I'm talking about in this industry, I'm not talking about my artwork. I'm talking more on the business coaching side of it. You know, there's not a lot of spiritual tattoo business coaches out there, especially ones that don't dub themselves that name. But it's my type of artwork that makes me happy. And do I compare myself to other people that are starting to come out of the woodwork and talk about business? And do I compare myself to other people that talk about content and other stuff? Yeah, of course. Do I compare myself to other coaches in other industries? Fuck yeah, I sure do. I'm like, God, I'm not even as far as they are. God, their mindset's so good. I wish mine was better. God. You know, so I can compare it to any other art form that I have because it's so new to me. I've been tattooing for 10 years, so it doesn't really necessarily, like, don't get me wrong, I still have comparison, but I've definitely cultivated a mindset that no longer adheres to the way that other people, or, you know, the way that I even used to do business and the way that I used to think, you know? And so it's like, I'm at this point right now where I've been given a gift to have the thought to invest in myself, into my healing, into my self-growth, so that I can come on here and be courageous for you and hope that I inspire courage within you so that you can go out there and do the same thing much faster than me. Much faster than me. I don't want you to wait 10 years. I want you to do it in 1, 2, 6 months. I don't care. Do it. Just do the thing. And if you are comparing, be kind to yourself. Love yourself and ask yourself the deep questions. I'm always talking about asking yourself the questions. The reason why is because when we can do that, we offer ourselves a level of awareness that is beyond the person we were just a minute ago. And that is growth, baby. That is growth. Because when we can compound those moments, those tiny moments of growth, those tiny little minute moments, all of a sudden a year goes by and you're like, holy fuck, I would have never been able to thought this way. If I looked back a year ago, I would have maybe handled this particular situation so differently. I get this all the time from my coaching clients. My VIP coaching clients that I have currently right now are so amazing. They are leaps and bounds in their business and also in their mindset and their mental health and all this good stuff. It's just crazy. I've just noticed it because I know that, like, when we do it together, we go much faster. So this is the reason why I have mentors and guides and teachers. And that's the reason why, you know, these people believe in those as well. And that's why they come to me to help them in their mentorship when it comes to tattooing, tattoo industry, tattoo business, you know, tattoo mastery of the mind, like all of these things having to do with the tattoo industry or the creative industry. It's like, we just know, we just understand, we just became one of the lucky people that understands that having mentorship is so beneficial to our growth because we just go so much faster. And so I've thankfully been planted that seed many years ago and been investing in my growth ever since. And I spend thousands and thousands and thousands, tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars on my growth because I believe in it. And because I have no time on this planet, although I have so much time. Let's talk about paradoxical thinking all over again. I have no time on this planet to play small, but I have so much time because I believe that, you know, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to continuously do this work as best to my ability, whether that be tattooing, tattoo business, coaching, mentoring, educating, all of the things. So I will leave you guys with that little tidbit there. I hope that this helps you guys in your weekly love and weekly goodness. And I just want you to spend the rest of your day just being so in gratitude, being really aware of where you're going, all the awareness of life. And, I love ya. No need for comparison. There is no competition out there. It's all community, baby. And I'll see you in the next episode.